Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Rustabout Collector here, and today we are taking a look at LEGO Star Wars set 75359, the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This set includes 108 pieces, and it is retailing for $20, or $19.99, but basically it's $20. As we saw before with the Snow Trooper Battle Pack, the $20 price point is kind of the new $10 battle pack price point, unfortunately, but that is also just kind of the way that things have gone with inflation and production costs and all of that stuff, everything getting more expensive. This is our $20 price point set now. Am I happy about it? No, not really, but is that the way things are kind of just going for everything, not just LEGO? Yeah, kind of. But this is the new battle pack, and in it we get 4 clone troopers, 3 of them being the standard 332nd clone trooper, and 1 of them being clone Captain Vaughn, though as we'll talk about later, you can see that the differences between those 2 troopers is not all that significant. But let's start things off just by taking a look at the box art. This new art style is pretty compelling. I love the action scenes we've been getting on these sets, especially like the ATTE, where it showed the big Battle of Utapau. I do like the direction they've been going with this new box art. It looks great when you're in stores and you see really compelling action scenes like this on the box art. It's very nostalgic for me, going back to those early days of Clone Trooper battle packs. And even around back, there's possibly even a better image of just this set in action with the jet troopers flying into battle and the swamp speeder going forward there. But of course, as with any set, the whole point is to open it and to build it, and we've already done that, so let's take a look at the build. So this set technically has 2 primary builds, the first one being this little stud shooter blaster turret, I guess you could call it. It's very simple, it's made up of like 5 pieces, and it's really not worth talking about. It's nice as just a little extra way to up the part count and, you know, for a play feature for kids with these sets, so you can launch that little stud off into the abyss and never see it again. Now this swamp speeder is actually pretty interesting. We have not gotten a swamp speeder since the Kashyyyk battle pack all the way back in like 2014, I think, and it's also just an interesting choice because we didn't see these during the Siege of Mandalore, so this is a very odd vehicle choice. I think that a bark speeder or some small build for an AT-RT, or maybe even just some terrain and, you know, some like barricades and stuff to kind of replicate the terrain of Mandalore would be more compelling than this. I'm not terribly fond of this, I'm gonna be honest. The build and shaping overall are nice though. I mean, I do like these sloped elements here that cover up the troopers, kind of giving them some armor plating to protect against battle droids, but it lacks any kind of smooth inverted tile pieces to assist with like sliding across the ground, which I feel like is kind of a primary play function of this set. Instead, it just kind of grates and, you know, grinds against anything you want to drag it across. The build was pretty satisfying. I mean, it took about 10 or 15 minutes to complete it all together with the minifigures, and the color choices are nice here with the blue accents against the light bluish gray. But again, I can't help but feel like this is a missed opportunity, either to change the Legion of the clones in this battle pack or to change the build itself. If they wanted to do a swamp speeder like this and they did, let's say, a Kashyyyk battle pack, or they did a 442nd battle pack, that would at least be a nice homage to older LEGO sets, to old Star Wars concept art, or the Battle of Kashyyyk itself. However, this set just doesn't fit with the Mandalore theme. My main gripe with the build itself overall is actually the stud shooters. I'm not a huge fan of how these are just mounted at an angle. I wish that they had been able to mount them somehow on a swivel this way so you could pivot them left and right, rather than just having them off at like a 45-degree angle the way they're mounted here. It's still okay, it still functions, you know, you can still launch them, that is still an acceptable play feature, but between that and the lack of little glider inverted tiles on the bottom, I just feel like this is lacking some of the major playability points that certain battle pack sets have had in the past. So again, I think that the overall build is fine, but it just lacks some of that more polished quality that I would expect out of a $20 battle pack, and I think that the choice overall is just odd for being a Siege of Mandalore set. Now, no matter what your opinion is on the set overall, you are left with all these pieces after you've built it all, and of course you get all these extra Clone Trooper accessories because they just come in a single solid pack. Just like with the ATTE, these are cast in that bright orange, so these could work with 212th or 332nd Ahsoka troopers. Now then, for the figures, you basically get 3 332nd clones along with Captain Vaughn, Vaughn. Now all of these are the same 212th print that we've seen before as far as the torso goes. They do sport the new helmet with the holes in the side, and they all do sport the same standard clone trooper head underneath that helmet. Two of them are equipped with these blue jetpacks like we've seen before with the 501st Battle Pack, and the printing on all four of these helmets is the same as the previous 332nd Clone Trooper, just on the new Clone Trooper helmet mold. Now of course all of these Clone Troopers do sport the controversial new Clone Trooper mold with these little holes bored into the helmet above the ear caps to allow for accessories to be attached, such as the Clone Trooper Sun Visor 3000, the Officer's Rangefinder, and even the old floodlights, which haven't been released since like 2010, I think, but those are also compatible with these little holes here. And ultimately, I'm not bothered by these. I know some people are really hot and bothered about these giant gaping holes in the Clone Trooper helmets and how dare they put them there. And really, when you're looking at the Clone Trooper straight on, they're hardly noticeable. You can see a little bit of that extra plastic there up at the top. That's just there to reinforce the plastic during the molding process. But ultimately, you really can't even notice them when they're angled. Like, to me at least, you can see them, yes, but they don't stand out. They're not glaring. And it makes sense from a practical standpoint to allow for these accessories to be attached so that we can get clones like Clone Commander Cody and Vaughn now with the visor and actually have it attached. Now some people have argued that they should have redesigned the visor attachment, or that only Commander Cody and clones with the visor should come with these helmets and all the rest should come with the older style of helmet. But I have two arguments against that. First off, LEGO is all about compatibility. So these old visors, while yes, maybe they don't look super accurate, they are compatible with now Phase 1 and Phase 2 clone helmets. They're not going to make a unique visor mold for the Phase 2 helmet that doesn't work with the Phase 1. And so yes, this isn't exactly perfect the way that it attaches above the ear like that. It is the way that LEGO decided to go about making an old part usable on a new figure design. And I think it's likely they don't include this older helmet in sets that include these visor packs because for playability's sake, if you're a kid and you get a Clone Trooper set and you can only put the visors on very specific Clone Troopers, that does defeat part of the playability of LEGO. And that is all about combining and swapping parts and, you know, finding new and unique ways for things to go together, because that's all LEGO is for. It's for building your own thing, building it your way. And so having one clone with a visor and one clone without is kind of defeating some of that playability in my mind. Making them all compatible with all of the accessories means that you could take a clone battle pack like this and have your Captain Vaughn, but you could also have a guy with a rangefinder and a guy with a visor, and they're just named clones in your own mind. You can make your own Legion this way, essentially, and that's what LEGO is all about. It's playing well and playing your way. So I think that while yes, these helmet holes may not be the most accurate thing, they are the most consistent thing with LEGO's design philosophy. Now I'm very happy to see these clones make it into a battle pack. I said from the very start that having this type of clone trooper, a real army builder clone trooper, should not be a single clone in a rather expensive like $40 or $50 set. That was the only way you could get this figure for a long time, and that made it pretty expensive on Bricklink. I think after this set was announced, the price did drop at least a decent bit, so I'm very glad to see this battle pack being released. I just wish it was released a little closer to Season 7. I think this would have been an awesome companion to Season 7 dropping if these were in stores as that season was airing on Disney+, but alas, it wasn't, and I'm still very grateful to get it now. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the new 332nd beside the old 332nd. The printing on the helmet does have some differences between the two, but the torso print is all the same. And if you're looking to army build these, I think that they fit in perfectly fine next to each other. Now then, let's talk about the more controversial clone in this pack, Clone Captain Vaughn. Now first and foremost, it's a named clone in a battle pack. That always is a bit of a red flag for me, because in battle packs, when you want to army build, you don't necessarily want to army build a named character. Whether it's a Jedi or a clone, the more unique the character, the less likely people are to army build them. This figure sports all the same deco on the helmet and legs as the other 501st clones, but it does have one unique element on its torso, and that is the little rank badge there on the chest plate, as well as around here on the back it has the printed jetpack just like Clone Commander Cody, and that is accurate to the character because this clone model in Clone Wars Season 7 just reused the asset of Clone Commander Cody's model with some new deco. Now those details on the chest are pretty nice, however we are missing some significant paint apps here. First and foremost, the abdomen and belt should be dark gray and not just plain white like you see here, and additionally this helmet is lacking literally all of the detail for Clone Captain Vaughn. He does not just have a standard 332nd helmet, rather he actually has a repainted Clone Commander Cody helmet with a dark red visor and some dark red markings overlaying different parts of the bright orange. The best reference I have here is the Clone Captain Vaughn helmet from Hot Toys. Now I'm in no way comparing the level of detail that a Hot Toys figure has compared to a Lego. I do expect some stylization and some simplicity when it comes to my Lego figures. In fact, I actually really like it. However, you can see all these dark red markings, especially under the eyes and across the chin, that are lacking here, and I just wish that they had taken the time, even if the top printing was the same, just to add the dark red under the eyes and the dark red stripe down the chin. I think that would go a long way in making this $20 set feel a bit more worth it in my book, and just taking this visor off and replacing it with a dark red one like I have here on my Clone Commander Fox would have actually gone a long way too in just making me like this pack a little bit more. You can see here just a simple change like that actually goes a long way in making this a much more accurate Clone Captain Vaughn. Now underneath his helmet he does have the standard Clone Trooper face, and I have heard some people kind of gripe about that you know, he needed a unique clone face, but since we never see him without his helmet, I don't see what they could have really done here other than maybe give him a different expression. But as far as maybe tattoos or scars go, we never see him without the helmet, so we can't go that route with it. But some different expressions on the clone heads, whether they're with Captain Vaughn or any clone trooper, would actually be a pretty welcome surprise. So all in all, I do feel like Captain Vaughn is a nice inclusion in this pack. However, I just wish that they had gone and done just that much more research on the character's design and then put that into the actual figure. And one final note that I have just with the 501st Clone Troopers in general, whether it's the 332nd or just the standard 501st Clone Legion, and that is that I would just prefer that these guys had blue arms. They did it with the Jet Trooper and one of the specialists in the 501st Specialist pack. However, I think that all 501st have enough blue on their arms in canon, you know, in the Clone Wars or in Revenge of the Sith, that these guys deserve blue arms. It's a simple enough thing to fix on your own from parts of your own collection or Bricklink or whatever, but I think that stock standard out of the box, these guys would do much better with blue arms. And heck, maybe if they're going to do a named clone like Vaughn here, if they got the printing right on the torso and stuff like that, and they got the printing right on the helmet, maybe they could also do some printing on the arms and just add those little unique touches when they're going to do a special character like Vaughn here. So overall, I think that there is a really solid core design going on here. I think the 332nd is a perfect battle pack choice. In fact, I wish we'd gotten this one before we got the 501st Specialist pack. This one just makes more sense as an army builder battle pack, but it is really lacking in some of those core areas that I feel would just make all the difference when we're looking at a $20 battle pack. I think I saw somewhere that even with inflation and all of those things adjusted, this should really only be about $15 to $16 at retail. So for those $5 extra, I would really like to see uniquely colored visors and accurate paint apps. You know, take the time to actually get the character reference right. The differences here with Vaughn are fairly minimal, just some striping on the helmet and some abdomen painting. But then we have characters coming out soon like Clone Commander Fox, where they completely missed most of his deco, and that's really frustrating, especially when Lego's prices continue to increase. And don't get me started on cloth camas that we are somehow getting in the Dreams theme sets, but not in the Clone Trooper sets. I don't understand that choice. Maybe someone can explain it to me down in the comments. But overall, I like this set. I like the core of this set. I like 3 out of 4 of the figures of this set. I almost like the 4th figure of this set. The build of this set is just okay. It's not bad. It just doesn't fit within what this battle pack should be as a Siege of Mandalore set. But the beauty of Lego is that you can always just take this apart, build it into something different, take a look at what Rebrickable has for alternate builds. Maybe there's something really cool that you can come up with the pieces from this set. Ultimately though, I don't know if I can really recommend this. If you're a huge fan of the 332nd, maybe you missed out on the first release of those figures, maybe grab one of these sets. You know, at retail price at $20, it's not terrible. If you can combine it with other offers or maybe get some VIP points by ordering it on Lego, that makes it all the more worth it. But if you're not in any rush, I would say maybe wait around for a sale, try and get this for like, you know, $15. I think that's a pretty fair price for what you're getting here. But that pretty much wraps up my review of this set. Again, overall, it's got good bones there. There's a good core of this set. It's just lacking some of those finer points that would really make me fall in love with it. But let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this set. I'd love to hear from you how you're feeling about these clones, how you feel about the new helmet design, and how you feel about these paint apps, because I bet nobody's really thrilled about inaccurate clone deco on Lego figures or Hasbro figures or Hot Toys figures. I think we all just want, at the bare minimum, some accurate clone deco. But anyways, as always, there's a link down in the description to my Instagram. There's also a P.O. Box address there if you want to send anything into the channel. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And as always, I'll be sure to catch you all in the next video.